Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today's going to be a follow-up to yesterday's video where we talked about the most recent controversy involving Hasan Piker. A controversy that left Hasan as the #1 trending term in the United States. Now, what did he do? This is a guy who's been sharing extremist beliefs and doing all sorts of crazy stunts over the years, but it appears that his latest action is one that is so heinous, even some of his sycophants, some of his most dedicated fans are starting to doubt the type of person they are following. And of course, that has to do with allegations that he put a shock collar on his dog, Kaya, and when it stepped out of its bed, he used a device to shock it to make sure his dog would go back in the bed away from him and basically serve as the prop that he is, trying to secure. Now, of course, he would deny these allegations, but in response to that, a lot of prominent YouTubers have come out and said, wait a minute, I don't buy what you're selling, Hasan. And before we get into those responses, let me just refresh your memory in case you didn't see as well of the clip in question that has caused this entire controversy.
Of all of America's much more consequential violence, okay? It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just go, just stop. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You're being such a baby. It's just, you're making her stressed. She just literally is so incredibly spoiled from my mom.
Yeah, it's really odd for a guy who constantly says, judge me by my enemies, and really, based on these past clips, here's his enemies, because his dog Kaya simply took a small step out of the bed, and this enraged Hasan so much that he reached off camera, seemingly pressed something, and all of a sudden, Kaya would yelp in pain, and you can see, this dog sits in that same position for hours on end. Literally, 4, 5, 6+ hours. It doesn't move from that position. It is literally a prop to Hasan Piker. Now, of course, he would have a response to this saying that's not a shock collar and that Kaya simply, nipped its nail or something.
She reviewed food online. She yelped. No, she went when she was getting off the bed. Because I assume she either stepped funny or clipped her fucking foot on something. I don't know.
After seeing all of the relevant context, a lot of people are not buying what Hasan is selling. And people are asking questions, including Moistcritcal, who I have to really give credit to. He's been in the trenches. This is a guy who's always made fun of for being a fence sitter, someone who does kind of the safe opinion, but I got big respect for Moistcritcal recently. He talked about the Charlie Kirk assassination. He condemned that related political violence, and he got a lot of crap from his, or at least a part of his fan base, and he was very bold there. And here he is calling out Hasan Piker. He saw this situation and he saw what happened, and he's saying, wait a minute, it looks like the dog had a shock collar on, and Hasan, who is very angry, used it on this dog because it dared to take a step outside of its bed. And even if what Hasan is saying is true, why wouldn't you check on your dog that is clearly in pain?
And instead of doing what I think most people, not even just streamers, just normal people would do, of showing, no, look, it's not a shock collar, obviously I didn't shock my dog, he instead just brushes it off saying, nope, it's not a shock collar, you're stupid for thinking that it is. And that's the attitude that his community had as well, oh, you must have psychosis if you think it's a shock collar. Which I think is a little odd because it's the easiest thing in the world to prove, right? You have all these people saying this shit, it's not true. Well, it takes actually 3 seconds just to unclip that collar and just show hey guys, I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea here. This is not a shock collar. Look, here's what it is, and then explain it. I feel like even a non-streamer, like a complete normie, average Joe Schmo, if you went to their house and saw that happen, or like, hey, did you just shock that dog? They'd be like, oh my god, no, this is clearly a misunderstanding. No, that's not what happened. Like, I feel like most people would be very quick to show you and prove that it's not a shock collar because it's so quick and so easy to do. And the fact that he doesn't is odd. Like, it is very peculiar. Why wouldn't you in the moment? Like, that's such a natural thing to do, especially for what's easily a slam dunk. Like, you have all these people attacking you, you could easily just come out and slam jam thank you ma'am on them by just being like, nope, it's not a shock collar, look, here you go, the proof is in the pudding, behold. Like, it'd be so quick, so simple, and it would be irrefutable. But that didn't happen yesterday. Instead, it was kind of brushed off as like, you've got to be to think that Hasan would shock his dog on stream, and he just kind of propped it up as like, the only people that would believe this are like bad people in the first place, or like, grifters, this kind of thing. And I just find that to just be so disingenuous, because most people are going to see this and it looks like you shock your dog. Given how annoyed you are with the dog, and right before she yelps out in pain, you roll your eyes, you look at something off screen, you clearly are like, you are reaching off screen, that is very clear, and then the dog yelps while you were still annoyed, and then instead of doing like what I feel like most dog owners would do, would like check to see like, is everything alright? Why'd she just yelp in pain? Instead of doing that, calling her a baby and then mentioning how spoiled she is about roaming the house, like that doesn't compute.
So what Moistcritcal said is something a lot of people are saying on the internet in response to what transpired. They are saying even if his version of events are true, his dog was still hurting. Now, if you've owned a pet, at some point, you probably accidentally stepped on its paw or its tail. And when you hear that yelp, every dog owner knows this. When you hear that yelp, there is a primordial response where you're like, oh my gosh, is my dog okay? And you immediately check on it. When Hasan, even through his version of events, heard Kaya in pain, he simply stared her down and then called her a baby, said she's being a baby. It's very weird, but of course, his response and his version of events were bought by all the sycophants, including people like this who said, she clips her paw, it's very obvious. You are willfully dumber than a dog if you choose to believe this and care more about imagining the suffering of a single animal than millions of Palestinians. They did it, ladies and gentlemen. The Hasan sycophants have quite literally said, you're mad at Hasan for possibly shocking his dog while there's a literal genocide going on. They actually went there. They actually compared this situation to what's happening to Palestinians. That is unbelievable. And Asmongold would respond to that previous tweet saying, you guys really need to stop invoking Palestine every time someone you like gets criticized. It doesn't help you, and it certainly doesn't help Palestinians. It has nothing to do with this topic, and you're effectively using their suffering as a shield for bad behavior. Now, Hasan would come out again and start to talk about another reason why he is innocent. And this time, he is saying that it is a collar that he uses, but this time is a collar that only vibrates.
This is the one that people are talking about. Okay, this is the one. This is the one that they saw. It has the capacity to vibrate, and that's it. Are you happy? That's it. Good. There's the AirTag. There's the fucking vibrator. It also has a flashlight component to it at nighttime, and it also has a tracker on it when she gets lost. If she were to actually get lost, you are able to, it emits a sound.
Yeah, right off the bat, people are not buying this. So if you do a zoom in of the collar he is referencing, a lot of people are asking questions. First of all, looking at the model of this shock collar, or regular collar, vibrating collar as he says, it looks like the prongs that do the shocking have been removed, and they are removable, by the way. And it looks like Hasan crudely put electrical tape over that spot to hide it. And this is something that Box Loner would talk about and compare what Hasan is presenting to a very similar model that you can find on the internet.
Closely match the ET300 Mini Educator half-mile remote e-collar, which does have shock prongs. It seems to match in shape, in the positioning of the charging port, in the texture of the plastic, unlike this one with the much more curvy light than the one Hasan has. This one, which is vibrate only, also has its charging point on the side. The one Hasan has the charging point in the middle, much like the shocking version, where the prongs that could deliver the shock are simply removable. You can just remove them, or apparently, maybe, plausibly, ostensibly, cover them with black tape. That seems to be where we are now.
And even further, people are using different shadings of color and brightness to see that there is clearly electrical tape on this collar, which is very odd. It's very odd. And like I said, the little prongs, they are removable. And you look at this, right? So there is clearly electrical tape on this collar, and this is something that is around the neck of a dog. Now, if you look at that logically, you would expect a lot of fur to be attached to that tape. If it's around the neck of a dog, it's going to be covered in fur, but it looks fresh. And honestly, people have been doing a lot of comparisons of the related model, and there's a lot of things that just don't add up. And again, to reiterate, the electrical prongs can be removed on this model that Hasan is seemingly using. But of course, things get even worse, because just like yesterday, a lot of clips have been resurfacing of Hasan doing very questionable things in his treatment of his own pets. And this is the latest clip to go viral. And at first, I thought it was AI. I thought it was made up, because it's so ridiculous. You have to almost believe there's no way it's real. But this is a clip from 6 years ago, still up on YouTube, where he's doing this to his dog.
Stay. If you run right now, I'll fucking kill you. Like, I'll actually kill you, okay? In front of everyone. Motherfucker, come here. Stay. No, come here.
Now, other people like Ethan Klein have been viewing that related clip we just saw, basically saying it's normal to violently grab your dog by its tail while warning that you will kill her. It's very, very disturbing. Now, as a refresher for yesterday's video, Anissa Joma, the wife of iDubbbz, was calling out H3H3 Productions, aka Ethan Klein, basically saying that what happened with Hasan's dog Kaya is simply an act of training, and that Ethan, in his neglect for his own dogs, just doesn't understand the intricacies of training a bigger dog like that. And Ethan had a lot to say to Anissa, and honestly, completely and utterly justifiable response from him.
You know, and they do. They do. Right? You know, no shock collars. Look at them. So sweet. So sweet. I love them so much. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Anissa, and talk about me. That's super relevant. You dumb. You pathetic. And by the way, if my wife was simping this hard for another man, boy, I would be. And listen, I'm a very secure guy, and I don't get jealous. And I would say if Hila was out here, because she did not go this hard for her own husband. When her own husband's being accused of stuff, she's like, no, he smells like shit. No, he's bad, he doesn't know anything, he smells like shit, he has tonsil stones, he stinks, he's a bad boxer. He never had a chance of beating Dr. Mike, she said on camera. You never had a chance of beating Dr. Mike, she said to him, after he came out of the ring with brain damage. But now it's Hasan's on camera, reaching for a button at the exact moment his dog yelps out in pain. And it's, yeah, but what about Ethan?
So really, what do we make of this situation? Well, it's gross. Okay, I think anyone who is objective, who is looking at the situation for what it is, you see the clip and you see the excuses Hasan is making. He clearly had a shock collar on this dog, and Kaya briefly upset him by, I guess, walking out of its bed, and that was enough in his mind to reach over, hit seemingly a button, and cause it pain. And when the dog was suffering, he had no response other than to stare at it and further mock it. It's pretty disgusting. And then there's even more stuff popping up. So I'll just play this with you guys, where apparently he talks about shock collars and how effective they are.
I have the best trainer in San Diego.
Oh yeah.
His name is Pat. Do you send him for
He trained my dog too.
And my dog.
Brian.
You sent him for 2 weeks?
2 or 3 weeks. You have to, bro.
What does he get trained to do?
To everything. Shock on, prong collar, shock collar.
He'll
change
get
your life.
he'll get training to like
Kaya?
basically be off collar. Like you don't need to ever have a leash on him.
Really?
Do you know Kaya?
My dog?
Cooking with Kaya?
No, my dog.
Oh, no.
Well, dude, we have the
Oh, yeah, I met your dog.
Yes.
It's basketball man.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have the best
She's
dogs.
very well trained.
So there he's saying that his dog Kaya is well trained, and they're talking about shock collars, and that the trainer that helped all these people out, that's what they use. So he is very clearly confirming that shock collars are used to train these dogs, including Hasan's pet, Kaya. This whole situation is ridiculous, and anyone who is sitting here bending themselves into a pretzel to defend Hasan and act like what you just saw before your very own eyes is not reality is ridiculous. These people are trying so hard to defend this man, and you know what? Anyone else, like I said yesterday, anyone else, whether it's people like Tectone or Asmongold, if they did something like this on stream, they would be banned instantly. And people like Hasan and all of his sycophants would be calling them animal abusers. But of course, this time, it's Hasan doing it, so these sycophants, they're coming up with every excuse they can possibly craft to make it seem like he did absolutely nothing wrong. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic, to say the least. He can't even keep his story straight. He is changing every single day. He's trying to modify his story, and it's making it worse and worse. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.